As I was saying to the Lord, I was saying, Lord, I've got to have your divine nature. And I was just simply said that to the Lord, and He responded by saying, it doesn't come cheap. It doesn't come cheap. And then the scripture He gave me is in Revelation. Revelation chapter 3, verse 18. I counsel thee to buy of me gold, tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear, and anoint thine eyes with eye salve, that thou mayest see. I used to think that when the scripture says, buy of me gold, that's the only thing you could buy. But if you look at the scripture properly, you'll see that there's an and after the gold. So, these are continuations, part of the buy. In other words, I counsel thee to buy gold, to buy white raiment, to buy eye salve, that you may see. These are all things that are going to cost you something. That's what the Lord is saying. And I just shared with you that the Lord said to me, doesn't come cheap. God does not give everyone that's saved the gold, the white raiment, the eye salve. The gold speaks of the nature of God. The nature of God. The divine nature. Buy of me gold. The divine nature. Where do I get it? Tried in the fire. The only place to find this gold is in the fire. Our God is a consuming fire. Abraham knew the fire of God. He said, Lord, be not angry with me. Be not angry. See, God has to reveal to us who He is for us to be a proper messenger. For you to be an effective witness, to truly be a witness of the Lord, you've got to know the Lord. You got to know His righteousness. You got to have a revelation of who He is. If you're going to be effective in bringing conviction upon this generation, you got to know the Lord for yourself. You can't just know of the Lord. You can't bring a message and expect people to believe it unless you yourself have met the Lord yourself. And you know Him intimately. Abraham was experiencing the very wrath, anger of God, the heat of God's anger and wrath against him. Not that God wanted to destroy Abraham, but he was interceding between God and Sodom and Gomorrah. He didn't want to see Lot be lost, be destroyed. He was interceding, not just for Lot though. He was interceding because he didn't just mention Lot. 20 people. Would you spare the city? On and on. And we know there was more than just Lot and his family that made up more than 20 people. Abraham was interceding not for the wicked, not for the homosexual, not for the lesbian, not for the perverted. He was interceding for the righteous. And the scripture says, if the righteous be scarcely saved. It's as we are in that place of intercession, crying out to God that He would spare America, that we will get a revelation, a divine revelation of who God really is. It won't be a matter of just reading the Bible anymore. It won't be a matter of just saying a prayer. But it'll be coming into a revelation, an intimate revelation, an intimate knowing of the Lord, knowing Him. I don't know, folks, what you're hungering and thirsting for, but I got to know Him. Like the preacher said, give me Scotland or I perish. Give me Jesus or I perish. That's my cry. I got to see Him. I got to know Him. I got to be with Him. I've got to be just consumed with Him. I'm not satisfied just knowing of Jesus. Just even walking in His presence every day is not enough. Until His righteousness permeates my being. Until the light of the gospel so radiates and so permeates my being, I'll never be satisfied. Till the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in His rays. Those that fear the Lord. Not everybody, but all to those that fear the Lord. So the Son of Righteousness arise. Oh, praise His name. See, there's something worse than cancer. It's called sin. It's a sin nature. And just as radiation can help put cancer in remission, at least, and in some cases even get rid of it, the Son of Righteousness arising with healing in His rays can eradicate that sin nature, can remove that sin nature. But as the Lord spoke to my spirit, it doesn't come cheap. It's going to cost you something. We're living in the hour of cheap grace. Everything's cheap. It's amazing. You listen to the world and they say, that's perfect. They use that word perfect like they just throw it around. Perfect. They don't even know what perfect is. They have no idea what perfect is. Until you see Jesus, you don't know what perfection is. And we can be like Him. But not without a price. It's going to cost you something. Have you counted the cost? Have you? I'm not asking you that question. I'm asking myself that question. And it's the Lord asking us the question. When the Lord spoke to me and He said, it doesn't come cheap. That's what He was putting to me. He was saying, are you willing to pay the price? I leave you with that thought, folks, because not everybody is going to be willing to pay the price.